Good evening, everyone. My name's Nick. Welcome to tonight's training call. It's Monday night. We've got summer in some parts of the world. We've got winter in my part of the world, in South Africa. And tonight we're going to talk about what everybody struggles with when they're busy building their teams. You know, often, you know, as people that aren't experienced in the business that we in network marketing, the most difficult thing that people experience is bringing people on board, bringing new people on board. So, can you guys hear me clearly? Craig, can you hear me? Yeah. So I decided, and we're very fortunate tonight because I've got Craig Tomanini on with me. He's one of the top leaders in the US. And I've also got Tammy Melchizedek also on the call, also top leader in the US. And I said to Craig, get on the call with me and let's talk about the struggles that everybody experiences when building, when recruiting. And the number one problem, or the number one issue that everybody has worldwide is what we call the pipeline. Now, the pipeline is a certain system that you have to follow in order to get somebody to get onto your team. So we're going to discuss it amongst other things tonight. I just want to tell you a little bit about Craig. I've met Craig when we first started dabbling with Africa 2.5 years ago. I'll never forget the first time I saw Craig on one of the Saturday Zooms with Todd Rowland. And it was, if I remember correctly, it was at a park, a football field, whatever it was. It was a whole gathering there. And Craig, although I've never met Craig, but Craig he's a tall, big teddy bear. That's him, straight. Because Craig, when he grabs a mic and he starts telling you his story, he's going to cry. You know that. He's going to cry. And that's Craig. And that first time that I met him was exactly that. I still remember saying, look at this big guy. This big guy's telling his story and he's crying. But you know what? Because where Craig was and where Craig is chalk and cheese. And you know, people say network marketing is a think. People think it's a get rich quick thing. It's not. You know, you have to work at it. It's a business. It's a business. And if you follow the system, you're going to do very, very well. A lot of people fall off in our business. A lot of people fall off. But those that stay, those people succeed. You know, because you have to go through the no's. You have to go through a lot of disappointment before you get to the momentum. So, Craig, it's your turn. You say something. I've said what I've said. Give us your introduction. Tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about the pipeline to start off with, and we'll take it from there.
Sounds great. Nick, thanks so much for having me. Everyone can hear me okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, always honored to jump on a call with my favorite people in the world in Africa. You guys are amazing. I love what you're doing. Thanks for the great introduction, Nick. You know, it's true. I'm covered with tattoos. I'm 6'3", and I like Nick said, a big baby. I remember the first time that I shared my story actually in Tammy's house, which is what's in the picture behind me, by the way, is one of our gatherings at Tammy's house. Yeah, I cried. And it's like Nick said, it's all because of my story. It's because of where I started this journey, and it's where I've ended up. And it's real hard actually to share the story without getting emotional, because, you know, when you have a life transforming experience, which is what we always talk about with people, right? When we share this, it's that idea of being authentic that we're going to get into today, you know, in terms of how to do this business, because that's the code. If you're looking for the secret sauce, it's to be yourself, to be authentic. And you know, I came from a place where I was over 400 pounds to lose 161 pounds and to keep it off for almost 7 years now. Wow. And every time I share that story, and what is that, 70, is that 73 kilos? I never can do the conversion.
I'll do it.
Anyways. When I think about that transformation, there's a lot of things that kind of just rush through my mind. And one of them is, you know, at the time that I found out about this, I was waiting for my first son to be born. I had 4 daughters already, and I was waiting for my son to show up. And I was told by the doctor that I wouldn't be able to meet him because I was so sick, so overweight. My cholesterol and my blood pressure and all of the things were so out of whack that even just thinking back to it, I do get upset. I do get emotional because I would have missed all of the things that I've experienced over the last 6.5, almost 7 years now. I would have missed it, guys. Hear that? I would have missed out on that part of my life. And so when you talk to people, be yourself, you know, be authentic. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. You know, Tammy told me, along with several other leaders, you know, I got off the, so to speak, stage, you know, the front of her living room, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I cried like that. I'm such a baby. And Tammy said to me, don't ever stop being vulnerable like that. People need to see a 6'3" tattooed guy, you know, emotional. They need to see that these transformations are real. And so that event you were talking about, Nick, you know, that was actually on it was called The Playing Field, and it was actually at a corporate event in Utah that we all got to go to as leaders. And I remember that event, you know, in particular, there was a lot of stuff kind of going on at the time. It was a few years back, maybe close to, well, you said what, 2.5 years ago, right? So yeah, almost 3 years ago. You know, I was at a point in the middle of this journey in the business where, and I'm just being really vulnerable with you guys, because you're going to experience this if you haven't already. You go through seasons where you kind of feel like you want to quit, you know, and Nick wrapped it up real nice right at the beginning. You know, the people that stay are the people that get paid long term. You know, you've got to stick this out. You've got to put in the time, and you've got to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. And it is not an easy industry to be in. And if I'm really transparent, at that time, I remember being super emotional at that event because I went into that thinking, why am I doing this? You know, at that point, a little over 3.5 years, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I've had some success. I've certainly had some success in my health, a little bit of financial success, obviously, but why am I doing this? Like, there was just a lot of personal things going on, and I struggled through. I wasn't supposed to speak at that event. That was kind of a last minute, you know, Hail Mary from some of the leaders. And I realized that when I get up there in front of everybody, the thing that was kind of a shift in my mindset was more about, I wasn't there for me anymore. I had gone to a place in the business where it wasn't about what I was doing exclusively. It was more about the fact that I was there being viewed as a leader, and that I had people that were there relying on what I was doing. They were watching what I was doing. They were watching the example that I was setting for them and how I was building the business. And so I'm pretty sure that's why I was emotional, because I think Dr. Crystal Vance said at that particular event, it's time to burn the boat, was the expression she used. She said, you know, it's time to burn the boat. And there's a point for all of us in this industry, and it's different for everybody, but there's a point that will come where you'll be challenged with rejection. You'll be challenged with being mocked and ridiculed by your family and your friends for what you're doing. And I would just tell you, stay the course. You're here for a reason. And the ones that stick around, like Nick said, truly get to take advantage of all that this industry has to offer. And I bring all of those things up because I think they're relevant to what we're going to talk about tonight.
You know, Craig, you say that, and I'm going to say, as an African, and the position that we're in now, you know, if you look at South Africa at the moment, you know, Nigeria is coming on very, very soon, and I'm so excited about that. And we all on this call and listening to the recording, we all excited about Nigeria launching. But that said, the position that we're in now, we've only got 6 products. We've only got 6 products. Now, compared to the rest of the world where they've got 70 plus products. But you guys were where we are now. And that is what I want everybody to understand, because there's a lot of people that would want to be in the position we are in now, no matter what team you're in. You know, this business is collaboration with everybody. You know, you take South Africans, no matter what team you're in, but together we will create that momentum. And that is where this thing turns. That is where we're going to see the results. You know, right now, what we're doing now, I'm sitting on Zoom calls weekly, and I will continue doing it. But what's the end game? The end game is that in a year's time, the people that are watching this Zoom tonight will be sitting where I'm sitting, because the money's in the front, and we must never, ever forget that. You know, those people that are doing the Zooms, that are on top, on stage and everything, those are the people that are making the money. Now, how's that happening? That happens because they have followed a system. They have duplicated what we call upline, what they have taught them. Because at school, we were taught, do not copy, you're not allowed to copy. In our business, it's the game of duplication. Whether it's talking, the way we're talking, the posture, the excitement, whatever, even on Facebook. And I'm a guilty one on Facebook, because I love to copy and paste. Copy and paste, because that's what it is. If somebody else has got a great post, I'll take that post, I'll copy that post, put it on my page. Why? Because there's 7 billion people on this earth. Not everybody's going to see Craig Tominini's post, but the people that follow me are going to see it. You know? And I'm building my business, and I'm learning from Craig, or whoever whoever the person is, you know. And we come to the pipeline, Craig. We come to the pipeline. You know, at the end of the day, me today, it just comes naturally now. It comes naturally because of practice. Now I'm going to let you carry on there, Craig.
Yeah, it's, you know, so we all in this industry, I love where your head's at, Nick. I mean, such a difference from 2.5 years ago too. I have to tell you, I'm super proud of you. You've absolutely showed up, and you're super consistent. And you're saying exactly what is true in this industry. The pipeline, you know, that's one terminology. It's pretty consistently used in our industry. I don't particularly care what you call it. You know, there's a process, like you said, and the process is really simply this. And if you're taking notes, write this down, because there's a distinction that I think needs to be made. There's several parts to that process. One of them is prospecting, and I'll go back and define these. But prospecting is the first stage. Then you have this idea of I'll call it sharing, or you can call it recruiting. I like sharing because recruiting isn't necessarily the only thing that we do. We educate, that's another word I could insert there. And then, you know, kind of the third part to it overall is closing, right? If we're going to use sales terminologies, closing. So when I think of the pipeline at a very high level, it's really just 3 phases for me. Now we can go a little deeper and, you know, have things like discovery calls, you know, 3-way Zooms, sending a video, right? There's a lot of subcomponents to that, but just to keep it really simple at this point, you're trying to identify leads, right? Prospecting, you're sharing or educating with some information, and then you're helping your prospects make a decision, whether it's to become a customer or to become a brand partner. And to me, that's the simplest way to break down the pipeline. So just so we're all clear what we're talking about, and it's this first part that I think really bears some definition, right? So what is a prospect? Well, the simplest definition of a prospect is anybody that you can sell your products to, or anybody that you can introduce the business to and have them become part of what we're doing. That's a prospect. So it's been said over the years in this industry, you know, the 3-foot rule, right? You stick your arms out, anybody within 3 feet, they're a prospect. That's one approach. Some people like to focus more on what we call a warm market. right? People that they know, friends and family, pros and cons to both of that. Then there's a cold market approach, right? People you don't know. I always use the example of the person you bump into at the gas station or at the supermarket, right? But it's not how do you go directly to that person and ram our opportunity or our products down their throat the minute you meet them. There's a process there, and I think that that's kind of what Nick, what you want to focus in on today is the how, right? To really try to give you guys some tools on how to make it more, like you said, second nature. I like the term natural, right, or more organic. It doesn't feel salesy when you do it the right way. And so I'd like to focus in on that. Any comments on that, Nick?
Craig, what works for me, and I promise you, this is for me. I always succeed with the way I do it, and the way I do it is I tell my story. I tell my story. So whether I'm at a barbecue or a braai, as we call it, and we're talking, right? A classic example is on Saturday. On Saturday, that's just past year, I was at a braai, and we were just talking there, a whole lot of guys talking around the fire, and I was telling my story, my transformation story, And today, we've just gone through this pandemic. The whole world's gone through this pandemic, and everybody has now become health conscious, right? So what's the trend now? The trend now is health and wellness. So, and we know trend is your friend. So you talk to people, and I'm telling people what my products that I'm taking have done for me. And after my story, what's the next question? Where do I get these products?
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, you mentioned, you said, you don't want to sound like a salesman, because it just puts people off. Then they're going to ask you all the other questions. Is this one of those? And I always steer away from that, because when you tell your story, people want what you did. FOMO.
That's right.
They don't want to lose out. They also want to see. And another thing I do, I have a WhatsApp group that belongs to just me. Okay. In that WhatsApp group, I have the transformation story, the pictures. So for me, it's automatic. I pull out my picture. There's my transformation. When you show that, it's 90% done. You get your customer. You get your customer. Now, we have two types. In our compensation plan, we have a customer and we have the brand partner, build the team. So if you're finding difficulty in building your team, start with the customer. Start with the customer option. They will use the product. And when it comes to get more, that's when you give them the option of buying it cheaper, making a bit of residual, and carrying on and telling other people. Right?
It's great. Yeah, I love the idea of customer conversions. When I first started doing this as a business, I got into it. Part of my story is I got into it for health, like I mentioned. I wasn't really even trying to build it as a business. Those that know me will tell you. And what happened is exactly what you're saying. I was starting to have some response to the products and losing weight. And people in my circle at church and at work, they were starting to notice, right? I started to lose weight in my face, and they would come up to me and they would ask me, how are you losing the weight? And I didn't know anything about the products at the time, right? And I simply said, hey, I went to an event with a friend of mine and she shared these products. That's how I got them. Maybe you should come, right? It was just that simple, guys. So don't make it complicated. But that idea of me being a customer first, right? That was really, start them out the right way, like the person who brought me in did, but be a customer in all regards, and then watch your customers have the experience, the transformation with the products. It'll happen, right? We know that our products are amazing. If they weren't, y'all wouldn't be here, right? We know that's why we're all here, is because we have great products. So trust the products and let them do what they do. And kind of a little more detail to what you said too, Nick, when they come back to get more, give them the opportunity. the thing is, when I bring someone on as a new customer, I would say, Nick, thanks for buying some Blue Frog from me, and look, in a couple of weeks, I want to check in with you and just see if you have any questions, right? It's that proactive approach to following up people. So then 2 weeks goes by, hey, Nick, I just wanted to check in with you. You've been drinking the Blue Frog for a couple of weeks, or one of your products over there in Africa. How's it going for you? Do you have any questions? What's your experience been like? Because when you start to ask those questions of your customers and you can give them a really great answer because we have access to all of the information about our products, you then have that conversation opportunity pop up where you can say, that's great. I'm glad you're having such a great reaction to it. Have you ever considered, or, when we talked originally, I mentioned you can actually make a little bit of money like I do as a brand partner, as a distributor. Have you thought about that? Would you like to see what that looks like for you? I could set up some more time with you where we could go through that and show you how that works. It really comes down to, when we talk about approaching prospects, it really comes down to asking really good questions, being conversational, right? I feel like I've got, is it Taya? Is that the right way? Or is it Thea on my screen?
Tia.
Tia, can you unmute for a second? Just kind of put you on the spot. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
You're just right on my screen, so I'm just gonna pick on you for a second. So, how long have you been with New Age?
Since January last year.
January last year. So, how is it going for you?
Well, it's good. Like you, I've got quite a transformation with the products here, and people are starting noticing, and people are actually starting asking questions.
That's great. So how many brand partners have you sponsored since you started January last year?
I think currently it's 6, but
6?
not all
Good.
of them. Yeah.
That's good. Then you're saying not all of them are doing anything? Is that what you're gonna say?
Some of them are not doing anything. They're just still sitting on the sidelines. And some of them are now slowly starting to talk to more people.
Are any of them on this call tonight with you?
No. They're all in load shedding, as Nick said, the trouble we've got.
Got you. So the reason I wanted to kind of talk with you specifically is really just to have a conversation with you, right? So for those that are just kind of on the outside watching, what have I done right now with Taya? I don't know Taya. We're just having a conversation. I'm asking questions, and see, I'm learning about Taya as a person. And see, your prospects, the people that you have in your life, are no different. I could do this with anybody on the call. Frankly, I could walk outside the building. I could do this with anybody I walk into at Walgreens, the local pharmacy here in town. The point is that no matter where you're at, you can have these conversations with people. And I think that we get fearful of rejection, right? When we talk to people, we don't like being told no. So there's two approaches to the idea of being rejected, right? Someone saying no to you. One is to just kind of do it a whole bunch of times and get thicker skin, like they say, right? So I don't really care what that person says. I'm going on to the next person, right? Here's the approach I like, though. Create a situation where someone can't say no. This is valuable stuff right here, okay? So I want to do a little role play with you, Taya. Okay, Nick, did you want to jump in? Good.
Craig. So here's the thing. We're sitting around a fire now. You, me, Tia, and everybody on this call. Okay? And I start a conversation like I'm going to do right away. So Craig, I want to actually tell you something. I've got a fantastic story here because, and I heard it the other day about Tia. Tia, remember when I spoke to you the other day? You told me the story about what you took for you to lose all the weight you lost. Tell Craig about that story. Now everybody's listening, eh? Everybody's listening. Tell Craig about that story. Tell Craig about the story of how much weight you lost, when you lost it, how long it took you to lose it, and today.
Yeah, I mean,
tell
that's
us
actually what you say. So
yeah,
so Craig, I found this fantastic product, and somebody just introduced me to it, and I've always been struggling with my weight, and within 5 months, I've lost 20 kilos and 107 centimeters. But you know what's best? I've got a health issue, and this product's actually worked for me.
And tell me,
So amazing.
did you go to gym?
I didn't even go to gym. I
So you
hate
just use
going
the
to
product.
gym.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's a perfect example of, like, I'm obviously going to start asking questions, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have that conversation. I want to go a little deeper. I literally want to create a situation, and it's very psychologically based, Tia. Is it Tia or Tia? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Tia? Tia, sorry. So you and I, we may or may not know each other, and we're sitting down and we're having a conversation, right? Or maybe we're doing it through WhatsApp. Tia,
Yes.
so what's really the biggest struggle that you have going on in your life right now?
I will say health for this.
Health. What are you struggling with specifically?
So weight is a huge thing for me, and an immune system that's not always working properly.
I struggled with my weight too. Are there any side effects or symptoms that you're experiencing because of the weight that you want to lose?
Very fatigue, a huge amount of fatigue because of the way I'm overweight, because of the health issue, and it caused a lot of fatigue.
Yeah, no, I understand that too. So, I have a lot in common with you, Tia. I had a story, a situation where I needed to lose a fair amount of weight pretty quick, or it was kind of dire situation for me. I experienced fatigue too, and I had some other health things going on, and it's super important that we get that under control. I don't know how old you are, and I won't ask because it's not polite to ask a woman how old she is, but I'm 50 years old now. And so as I get older, I know how hard it is for me to lose weight as I get older and to get my health on track. And so, Tia, what I want to know is, if you were presented with something that could help you drop the weight that you want to drop, right? Whatever that goal is, would you be open to taking a look at it? Because I found something, and I think that you might be able to get similar results, maybe even better than I got. I'm not sure.
Definitely, I'm always open looking at something new and find something new.
Right. So let me ask another question before I share that information with you. What are your specific goals? Like if you were to write down your weight loss goals, your overall health goals, what would that look like? Like your top 3 things, what would that look like?
Well, definitely, if how can I say, if what I can share with, if you share this with me, obviously I can maybe help somebody else. But for me, it will be better health, will be better energy, and you will have more confidence. So for me,
I love the focus on more confidence, right? It's so true. Like we don't see ourselves when we look in the mirror, we don't see ourselves and go, wow, I look great, or wow, I'm getting younger, right? There's a definite realization about your physical appearance, and we want to feel good and confident about that. It's so exciting that you're going to take advantage of, what you can find to help you with those goals. And I'm excited to share what I have with you. What I want to do is I want to set up some time with you to go through what I have. And the reason I want to set up some time is because I'd like to share my story in a little more depth with you. And I want to have some time to show you all of the details. But here's what it comes down to. If I could show you a way to accomplish those 3 things that you laid out that were important to you for your health and your confidence, is there anything that would prevent you from taking a step forward in doing what I did to get the results that I got?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and schedule that time. And then I would do that, right? So I would schedule the time. Guys, this is a pre-closing conversation. And when we think about how we talk to people, you want to be in a position that you're educated on what it is, and this is important, what they're looking for. This is not about where you're going to pigeonhole them. It's about where they're going to be best served. It's about where their needs are getting met. And so now I know a lot about Tia, right? And so when I have this other conversation with her, I might bring Nick on the call, right? Just to, as a third party credibility, right? Just to have another story shared, because we kind of already have talked a little bit. And then I'm going to share this information with you. And then when I close you at the very end, I'm going to close you because I now know all of the things that I need to know in order to close you. And I also know that there's not going to be anything holding you back. You're not going to hesitate because you already told me if I could show you how to accomplish those 3 goals for your health, that you would absolutely check it out. You're already going to be a customer at a minimum. And when I get you on this call, we're going to talk about all of the things that are relative to your health. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit in there about how I'm a distributor, a brand partner, and I'm going to share a little bit about the fact that I do this for a living and that I can make money. Why? Because even if you become a customer, when we end that call and you become a customer, you're going to be thinking, wow, these products really do work. And didn't he say he could make money? And so now the second conversation's already been teed up. So thank you for playing along, Tia. I think, and congratulations on your health. It's really cool that you are accomplishing those goals. And you're spot on, Nick. We need to hear people's stories. Tia needs to be on a Zoom sharing her story. We all need to be sharing the authentic story that's happened to us since we've gotten involved with New Age, because that's the stuff that's going to help us educate, inform, and ultimately grow our businesses individually and grow New Age as a company.
Craig, 100% right. And, so that's what we call the pipeline. Now, our business, you're in it for yourself, but not by yourself, guys. Remember that. So step 1, pipelines. Now, you might have seen what you've seen tonight, and said to yourself, but you know what, I'm not at that stage yet. So I can't be, I've just started, or, I don't have the confidence to do what these guys are doing. So what now? So here's the what now. Now, what we're doing every Monday is training. And I urge all of you to speak to your teams. Go to your downlines, speak to your teams, get them on these calls, because we will help in educating, in training you all to do the right thing. Knowledge is power. You've heard that saying, right? But it's only power if it's applied. If it's not applied, it's nothing. So
Right.
Now you're going to learn. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a call with Yolandi, and we're going to focus on the power of events. Now, events can mean a lot of things. Events like now, a Zoom call is an event. Events, a 2-on-1, where there's 2 of you and 1 prospect. Events is a 3-way call. Events is home parties, and not where you go and dance and do the thing. We just term it home party. It's you go to somebody's house for a specific reason. You get invited, and one of the leaders will go there and present until you're ready to do it. So there's another way of building your team. And as you go, you will improve, you will perfect it. The other thing, and Craig, you'll vouch me here, is on social media, we have that power that we can use, So if you look what I do every single day, it's either a product, or it's my Liverpool, my soccer team, or it's a motivational post. Okay. But on the product, what am I doing there? I'm creating the inquisitiveness. So when the people see me, what's the question? Nick, what is that you're busy with on Facebook? I always see you on Facebook, you're doing this, and you the hero this and hero that, and this product. What does it do? They open the conversation. So wherever you're going to go, you got a potential to bring somebody onto your team. So create that. Go on Facebook, and I'm telling you, go make the mistakes, because you need to make the mistakes. Because when you go live, when you do a live, people want you to make mistakes. They expect it because you're going live. So if you go live, don't be shy to make a mistake, because they don't know what they don't know. All right? They don't know what they don't know. So go on there and make yourself visible. Make yourself visible and get the people to see what you're doing.
Love that. I love that, Nick. I want to go. The last thing I want to say is there's a quote by George Bernard Shaw. If you don't know who he is, he talks about opportunity, and you kind of just touched it. He says, "Don't wait for an opportunity, create the opportunity." And that's really the business that we're in, is talking to people. Don't be ashamed of what you're talking about. Be proud of New Age. Be proud of the products that you have there in Africa. Be proud of the progress that you're making, Tia. Be proud that you have the ability and the freedom to share with other people. And the people that aren't interested, that don't walk beside you, it's just not their time. It's not that not even that they don't understand. It's not that they don't like you. It's just not time for them. And those aren't your people right now. And that's okay. But don't be afraid to create opportunity. You have nothing to lose by creating an opportunity, but you have everything to lose by not creating that opportunity. So get out there and talk to people, be bold about it. Don't be afraid. And like Nick said, the most important thing Nick said all night, you are not doing this by yourself. You absolutely have a team of people all over the world, literally all over the world, that will help you. I will help you. I will help you. If you need my help, you feel free to reach out to me. I know Tammy will do the same. We will all band together because we all have a common interest, and that is to see New Age be the biggest global distribution company in the world of health and wellness products. And we are absolutely on track to do that. So I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you so much, Craig. That's spot on there. Yeah, guys, that's it. You've heard it from the horse's mouth, put it that way. Now, all we need to do now, guys, is up the confidence, fix the posture, be positive, go out there, because remember, your posture, your attitude is contagious. So if you go there with confidence, the person you're speaking to is going to pick it up, and you know what? He's going to come. He's going to say, you know what? I want to be like them. I want to be like him, you know? And that's it. Tammy, can I put you on the spot? Put you on the spot. You can close.
Excellent training, gentlemen. Excellent training. I love the role playing too, Craig. That's always so. I love how you train and teach, because I do think it's just a conversation. Congratulations to all your success in Africa. And the only thing I wanted to add was you have your products in Africa, but Craig and I started in our business with basically at that time, four products. Craig came in, there were 4. So I'm just saying, we built a $500,000 a month business on 4 products. So do not think more is more, because sometimes less is more, and you get more focused on the products that you have and become more of an expert. So I just want to encourage you, the products you have, you've got incredible stories now. I'm looking at them, I'm watching them, people's health, their weight, their inflammation, their confidence level, everything has shifted, and people have so many stories. Now, if you use those stories move people. And so go with those products you have. Trust me, these are Deanna Latson stamped products. And we've actually gone to great extent to gift them here in the United States. So you know that you have great products. Go with what you have. Be thankful that you have this window of time. You know, put your blinders on and run, because Africa is going to absolutely take the world by storm, without a doubt.
Thank you so much, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's it, guys. There we go. So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for coming on tonight, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Bye-bye.